Hey y'all! It's definitely been a while since I posted, but I'm gonna make it up to you today with a pretty long video. I'm sure you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, but today I'm making a dream doll. I was inspired to make this doll when he did his face reveal. That was over a year ago now. I don't know exactly what it was that inspired me, but I know that the concept of dream has always been really interesting to me. I'm honestly really impressed that he managed to hide his identity for so long. And obviously, I don't know the guy, but I was so proud of him for going through with the reveal, even though I'm not sure why he did it. Obviously, there were a lot of mixed reactions, and he received a lot of hate. I remember there being a lot of people that went after him for the way he looked, which is so stupid, but something about him just inspired me to make a doll, so here we are. This doll was quite the process. I tried several times to do the face up and I failed. It was frustrating because one day I would be happy with my work and then the next day I would be frustrated with the whole thing and restart. I guess I had some kind of artist block. Either way, after lots of trial and error, I finally completed the doll. I'm really happy with how he turned out, so I hope you enjoy watching the process. Let's get started. For this doll, I'm using Deuce Gorgon as a base. There's not necessarily any similarities between Deuce and Dream, but I felt that Deuce was the best candidate. Removing the snake hair cap thing was a major undertaking. I was hoping I could just heat it up and it would come off, but I had to get my knife out. For the record, I am a menace when I have a knife. I always cut towards myself, which is extremely dangerous, but I still do it. And you know what happened? I cut myself. Yep, big surprise. Anyway, I also mangled poor Deuce's head a little bit, but it's going to be covered up with hair. I start by blushing his face with some chalk pastels. I'm only using a brown for shading his face and I won't actually be using a blush on him. I don't think it would look right. I do use kind of an orange shade to blush his lips. I just wanted them to look pretty natural and I think it turns out pretty well. You might be wondering why he has blue stains on his eyes already, and the reason behind that is that I've done this face up 2 times before this. My blue pencil just left stains that got worse after each attempt, and there was nothing I could do about it. I covered them up pretty well with this face up, so it's not that big a deal. Now I start sketching the basic lines of his face with a light brown pencil. Using a lighter color helps when mistakes are made because it can be erased a lot more easily. to change up how I'm editing my videos a little bit just by taking out some of the time lapses that I used to do. It definitely makes for a longer video, but I think it shows you a little bit more of the process. Also, I never know what to talk about in videos. I'm sure you can tell because I just don't talk very much. So if any of y'all have any ideas or suggestions, like if you want me to talk more about what I'm doing, if you want me to explain things more, or even if you just want to hear more about like my ideas behind things, or even just my life in general, let me know in the comments because I don't really know what I should be talking about. And the only reason I'm really worried about this is because my little brother watched one of my videos and told me I was really boring. So I'm kind of like self-conscious about how little I talk in my videos now. So yeah, just let me know if you want to hear more from me or if my lack of speaking is fine. After sketching the basic shape of his eyes, I start working on his irises and pupils.
That's terrifying.
Now I'm moving on to sketching his eyebrows.
As you can see, I'm finally happy with my work. I was actually feeling confident enough to continue with this face up here. The first 2 times I had very mixed feelings at this point, so it was really exciting to finally be truly happy with my work. Realized that the blushing I did around his face kind of creeped into the center, so I decided to lighten it up with some white. It looks really intense, but it fades after using Mr. Super Clear. I love adding micro glitter to my face ups. It really just gives the doll's skin a nice texture. Now begins the second layer of the face up. I don't actually remember how many layers I did, but I ended up skipping through a lot of it for this video. I didn't want y'all to watch me do the same thing 50 times. Adding single hairs to the eyebrows is a very satisfying process, and it really brings life to a doll. I'm not very careful when I do this, so I make a lot of mistakes, but I feel that moving slowly makes the lines thicker and less hair-like.
Watercolor to block in the colors for the eyes. I love adding the first colors to the face because it just makes such a big difference for the doll's vibe. Since Dream has blue eyes, I'm obviously giving the doll blue eyes. They look really flat right now, but I add a lot to them throughout the process to make them look better. For Dream's facial hair, I took a lot of inspiration from Hawks from My Hero Academia. I tried a few other methods, but nothing worked very well, so this is what I decided on. A few stylized lines just makes more sense to me. Using my black pencil to darken up my sketch. I don't usually go straight to black, but I guess I did this time. I honestly do not remember. I also used my darker brown for the outer corner of his waterline and pink for the rest. You can already see the details I'm adding to his eyes, creating a more interesting face. More glitter marks the end of the second layer. Lashes are the hardest thing in the world for me. I tried to make them thin the same way I make eyebrows thin, but moving quickly with lashes just makes them too unruly. Unfortunately, moving slow makes them thick. Until I find a good method for this part, I'll just be doing my best and moving on with my life. used my white pencil to add some highlights to the face, and then I wiped them away quite a bit to make them a little more subtle. Yellow to his eyes was one of my favorite details. It really makes them more interesting and kind of almost but not really realistic. Glitter was also a must for his eyes. It makes them look so sparkly and alive. I had to give him some eye shines. Nothing too crazy, just some dots, but wow, do they make a difference. Finally, I add 3 layers of high gloss varnish and the face up is done. Now we can move on to the outfit. First, I'm making a neon green sweatshirt. I obviously chose this color because of Dream's Minecraft skin. It was a pretty basic process of cutting out and following a pattern. All my patterns are going to be linked in the description as well. I also made him some jeans. This was less basic because they have pockets. I also used Delightful's pattern, which specifically says do not use real denim. And what did I use? Real denim. They turned out very thick, but I do like the way they look because I used the telltale gold accent stitching found in real jeans. Next, it's time to make his mask. This was a lot of fun. I used some 2-part epoxy clay and a tablespoon as a mold. I pressed the clay into the spoon and made it as smooth as possible. Once it was dry, I sanded it down. Then I began painting it with white gesso. I think it took 9 layers to be completely opaque, which doesn't say good things for the quality of my gesso. Anyway, I painted the front first and then the back with the same number of layers. Once it was opaque, I started painting the face with my dotting tool and liner brush. It looks absolutely terrible in the beginning, but I made it look better off camera. I didn't want my head in the video, so I couldn't really see what I was doing until I stopped filming. it with 3 layers of high gloss varnish, and then I remattify it with MSC. Finally, I glue on some black ribbon so I can tie it to the doll, and the mask is finished. Next, we have the shoes. Now this was a process. I spent hours on these shoes. I wanted to make the neon green and white checkered Vans, and that's what I did. I started by covering the original shoes in several layers of gesso, and then I just painted the bottoms brown like all Vans are, and then I added green accents. Once I was done with the accents, I used a tape measure and my pencil to measure out some equal distances for lines, and then I started making the lines and squares with my liner brush. I fill in every other square and leave the rest white. It didn't look perfect after the first go, but I went back in later to clean it up with more gesso. do the same thing on the back of the shoe. Then I added the black line that all Vans have around the bottom of the shoe.
Hi, kitty. No, don't do that. Stop. You're gonna knock it over.
Finally, I covered them in 3 layers of high gloss varnish and remattified it with MSC. Finally, I make his wig. I made a wig cap from some tights and a lot of glue. Then I glue wefts to the cap one by one. I had already curled each weft, but I recurled them later because they went limp. Then I trim each weft. I should have done this before the wig was complete, but I didn't know that when I was making it. Once I finish trimming the wig, the doll is done. Let's look at the final product. Thank y'all so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you want to, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!